Hello. Welcome to Read It, Reddit, Review It. I'm your host, and I'm Toasty. Toasty like a bun. Let's do this. Today we visit entitled parents. Stop wearing slutty clothes in front of my child. Ma'am, I'm a band dancer, so this is a fun little memory from high school. Aww. A story talking about a uniform reminded me of it, so here you go. I'm a horrible mobile user. But how else am I supposed to get my daily meme fix on the go, right? Anyway, I used to be part of the band dance squad. Anyone who's been on one knows we're just kind of cheerleaders, but we get to dance with live music, almost. I mean, that's as best as I can describe it. Attack me if you must. I was about 17 at the time. Homecoming was that day, and of course everyone was to be on the field, I think around 4 or something. So, us being the teenagers we were, my friends and I in the band went to a popular burrito place that rhymes with buboba. Buboba? Again, I am Australian. I do not know the names or the places of these things. And I feel so left out. Because we had about an hour before the game, I was in most of my uniform already. Blue gold leotard, hair had glitter in it, blue and gold skirt over it. The only thing that wasn't on me was heavy makeup and a petticoat. To hide my legs because it was cold, I wore leggings. As I'm standing in line with my friends, them laughing because I was messing around in my uniform and whatnot, I hear this woman clear her throat. Now, it's been 2 years since then. I don't remember how she looked, but I do remember she did have sunglasses on. She whipped them off in order to glare at me, which confused me. But maybe she had seen me dance around like a fool, so I fixed myself back up and continued to talk like normal. My first friend was next in line, which meant I had about 3 people in front to choose if I wanted a burrito or a bowl. As I'm choosing my meal, I hear the clearing of her throat again. I'm just gonna call her Nancy, since Karen is a bit overused. Also, I'm possibly gonna make stuff up since, like I said, it's been 2 years, but what she essentially said was,
"Excuse me, young lady.
"Yes, ma'am."
I'm sorry, but how old are you?"
I'm 17. Why do you ask?
Oh, no! That outfit is much too inappropriate for such a young child. You need to go home right now.
I'm sorry, miss, but this is my uniform, and I have something important to do tonight, so...
You're too young to be selling your body like this. Where are your parents? Do I have to call the police?
She then grabs my arm and tries to pull me away from my friends and out of the door. My friends drop their stuff and pull me back. Sorry, miss, but you can't really do that. Please, leave her be.
But she's dressed provocatively, and she's young. You need to go home and change. Now.
Kind of annoyed, but understanding. I understand that the uniform looks really tight and all, but it's my school's uniform and it's really no biggie. By that time, it was my turn, so I quickly made my order and booked it back to the band room so I could eat in peace. So, I bet you're wondering how this made her an entitled parent, huh? Welp. As we were doing warm-ups and the bleachers were slowly being filled, I saw the woman walk into the bleachers. I almost laughed, knowing this would really get under her skin. The game would start soon, and it was time for our first set. The band started playing, and I saw the woman look around, until she saw little old me. And 13 other girls in the same outfit. The look on her face was priceless. My guess is that her team didn't have a dance portion of the band, because she was definitely confused when she saw the rest of us. I don't know if this made her entitled or anything, but this remains a favorite story of mine. To the band nerds out there, keep having fun. I know I did. Technically not fully of an entitled parent. She could have easily just been a pedophile, wanting to try and kidnap someone at the event, so... but nonetheless entertaining. Over in the No You subreddit, we have a post by Cyber Orbit. You don't need to stick to a contract because you're my mother? Good luck with that. This happened roughly 5 years ago, just after I turned 18. My mother was running a small art supply shop in the small farming community I grew up in. She took this shop over after the original owners went bankrupt and sold it off. She was doing a pretty good job. Both of my parents are pretty business-minded and would make amazing business partners if they could stand being in the same room together longer than 30 minutes. Just making a few silly choices here and there, and she got us kids to help out quite often. One visit during the Xmas holidays, I had come up from my dad's to stay for about a month, and my mother had the amazing idea to teach the 3 kids, me, just turned 18, brother 16, stepsister 8, about having a real job and printed up contracts for us to become employees under her. For my brother and sister, these were not worth the paper they were written on as they were under 18, but because I was 18, it would have been legally binding. This wasn't her intention at all, but I wasn't willing to take the risks, so I filled it out with complete BS, putting my name down as Elvis, saying I had jail time, drawing a cat as a signature, etc. What are you talking about, mate? That's exactly how you fill them out. She went nuts at me. I was apparently being disrespectful and childish, and when I tried to explain myself, I was told to shut up and not talk back to her. The convo would go, word for word, "How could you do this? Why would you do something so stupid?" Because shut up, I'm still talking! After this, it was dropped, and everyone carried on working like normal. Then I started to notice small and stupid things Mum would yell at the kids for. They come in from lunch 5 minutes late, they are in breach of a contract. A friend comes in and talks to them for 2 minutes, they are in breach of a contract. They want to go to the movies with a friend and have a proper holiday for a day, you're in breach of a contract! This is when I decided to read the contract. I didn't before because I had no intention of signing it. And it was ridiculous. Pay was minimum wage, travel cost plus food cost, and came out like $5 New Zealand a week. No days off unless you were seriously sick. 30-minute lunch break in an 8-hour day. No personal communication during work hours. No food or drink while working. Arriving late and leaving early would be penalized. And these were the worst ones I can remember. I decided this was total BS and I needed to teach her something. So, using my limited legal knowledge from my IT degree, I rewrote the contract. Minimum wage with travel reimbursed. Paid day off for something as little as a cold. 1 hour lunch break. Personal conversation allowed as long as I'm working at the same time. Leaving and arriving 20 minutes late or early caused no penalty. Also, due to my IT qualification, any hour I do any IT related work gained double pay, even if it was just for 5 minutes. Contract became void after 2 weeks. I was due to go home in 3. Nay. Join a union. Better not lead a union. You're like a workplace's worst enemy. Granted, this is your family and your parents, though. I mean, Mum, I'm sorry for being a pain about the contract. So I read through it, corrected some mistakes I could see, and signed it for you. Oh, thank you. I'll get that signed immediately and we'll start on Monday, to my brother and sister. See, this is good to learn. I purposely left some mistakes for you to find, but neither of you read your contracts. Always read your contract carefully. Ooh, did you notice that little change in complete behavior there? I would not trust this mother. Sure enough, she signed it without reading it, gave me a copy, and I was employed for a few weeks. When it came about time to hand in our hours and get paid, my brother and sister went first, got their $5, and were happy. When my turn came, I handed over a notebook with my detailed notes on every task I did, how long it took, and at the end, a bill for about $300. I had done a lot of IT work and overtime to fix her work computer, and was handed my $5. This looks a bit light. No, you get $5 because she goes through the rundown of the old contract's billing. Yes, but that's their contract, not mine. Check the notebook and the contract. Checks notebook, getting gradually more pissed off. I am not paying you for this. This is ridiculous. But you signed the contract, you agreed to it. Hands her a copy of the signed contract. She reads the contract, then refuses to pay it, as she is my mother, and this is stupid, and rips it up. Then leaving with my siblings, leaving me to make my own way home. Since I've rambled on a bit, I'll make the next bit short. I got a ride home. In a cop car. I asked a favor at the station since I wanted my mother to learn a lesson, but I didn't want to go to court or anything. She was told that the law is on my side. Me and my mother are both over 18 and the contract is legally binding. She can either pay me the $300 or I can take her to court over refusing to pay an employee. I got the $300. We didn't speak for over a year. My dad and Nana laughed with me when I told them. Moral of the story, always read a contract before signing it. Mr. Cyber Orbit, you should learn to be thankful that you had this kind of mother, because she taught you two-sided Good on you, man. Power to you. Start a union, you gifted
Beautiful piece of beauty.
I love you. Oh wait, there's more. A few things I probably mentioned but didn't cross my mind when I wrote it. The cop I got a ride home with was a good friend's dad. I didn't come to the station and complain, just ask for a ride and a scare for my mother. My mother is extremely two-faced. Well, there you go. If you only know her through her work, then she acts like your best friend. If you know her personally, you know she's a real work of art. Ay. I hate it. I hate your puns.